Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rooftop Stories, and this is Story Time with Mason. Me, that's me. Today, I'm going to tell you a little story about my life that I like to call the long con. And it takes place in my childhood when I was 6 years old, give or take a couple months, maybe a year. And it all started when I was with my sister. First, my sister is the worst, best person you could meet, if that makes any sense. And I mean that from the nicest... No, I don't mean that in the nicest way possible. Anyway, my sister and I were most likely arguing, yelling about something. And she decides in her little brain that it would be funny to tell me I'm adopted. So she leans in as close as she can to my little tiny little head. And she says, "Mason, you were found under a rock in California on the beach." Yeah. Heavy stuff for a 6-year-old. Needless to say, I was flabbergasted. But unlike any normal child would have done and said, "You're an idiot, shut up," I ran crying to my mommy. I was bubbling, tears running down my little tiny 6-year-old face like a river. And I went up to my mother and I said, "Mom, Chance said I was found under a rock in California." And rather than saying, "No, your sister's lying," she pauses and thinks about it. She thought about it. Anyway, my mother, in all of her infinite wisdom, leans in and says, "Mason, you were found under a rock in California. Your real name is Moscone Deanne Hununti." And this coming from my mother was a revelation. It was like a choir of angels was singing over me. Light came down from the heavens. It may not have been that usually that means it's something good, but I was devastated. I cried myself to sleep almost every night because I wasn't part of this family. Well, this story, this little thing, went on for 6 years. My dad and my brother, my mom and my sister all thought it was the funniest thing they had ever seen. But me, my poor little 6-year-old heart was broken. But finally, his story came to light when I was 12 years old and I was in 6th grade. And I was telling all of my 2 friends that I was adopted. I was found under a rock in California. Because apparently I was. Well, my mother got wind of what I was saying. She comes up to me and she's like, Mason, Mason, Mason. Mason. Whoa. Whoa. Hey. Hey, whoa, hey. Jets. Cool them down. And she goes, Mason, you're not really adopted. It was just a joke. Like, I knew the whole time. Like, it was, ha ha ha, funny on you. You weren't adopted. Oh, you. No. That's not how it works. I was literally angry. My little head exploded because I was so mad that I wasn't adopted, that I was actually related to this family, this crazy, crazy family that I love oh so much. And so, every year, we always like to sit down and discuss, haha, Mason's a little funny. He was not really adopted. And I might be a little bitter about it. I'm not. I'm bitter. I'm bitter. Absolutely. But anyway, that ends the story of what I like to call the long con, or the darkest years of my life. Not really. Looking back on it now, it was actually really funny, and we all have a good laugh about it. And I love my family to death. But that ends this day's story time with Mason. If you liked what you heard, subscribe in either that box or that one. I don't know. If you didn't, you're probably going to tell me anyway, so go right ahead. And tune in next time for when I tell you about the greatest lie I never got away with. Thank you. Goodbye.